Once upon a time, there was a man named Daniel who served the God of Israel. He lived in the city of Babylon, which was very far away from Jerusalem. This was after the Jewish people were taken captive by the Babylonian king, Nebuchadnezzar. Daniel was a very faithful servant of God, and even though he was far away in Babylon, he still worshipped God just like the people in Jerusalem. Now, many years had passed since the Jewish people were taken captive, and most of them had become accustomed to living in Babylon. But there was one king who did not believe in God. His name was Darius, the son of Ahasuerus. He ruled over the vast empire of the Medes and Persians. Darius sat on the throne in the palace at Susa, which was the capital of his empire. It was a very magnificent city. Now, Daniel was in a very high position in the king's court. He had many responsibilities, and the king trusted him a lot. But some of the king's officials became jealous of Daniel because he was so respected. They were envious of his high position and wanted it for themselves. So they made a plan to get rid of him. These wicked officials went to King Darius and told him, "Look, this Daniel, he does not care about you or your laws. He does not even obey you. Instead, he prays to his God 3 times every day, and he does this in spite of our laws." They reminded the king how much trouble they had taken to make him the ruler. "If you don't punish this man, we will be unhappy with you. And if you do punish him, then we will be happy." So the king was in a very difficult position. On one hand, he liked Daniel and appreciated his service. But on the other hand, he had to listen to what his officials were saying. So King Darius called Daniel and said to him, "Why do you not obey the laws of the Medes and Persians? You have broken the law by praying to your God. Now you must be punished." Then Daniel replied, "O king, my God commanded me to pray to him 3 times a day, and I cannot stop praying to him, even if you punish me." The king was very angry when he heard this, but according to the law, he could not set Daniel free. So the king ordered that Daniel should be thrown into the lion's den, which was full of hungry lions. Then he rolled up a stone and sealed it with the king's signet ring and ordered that it should be placed over the mouth of the den. This is what the scroll says. And the king commanded that the same Daniel, who was called Belteshazzar, should be brought before him. And when he had accused Daniel of this offense and had examined the matter thoroughly, he commanded that he should be cast into the den of lions. And the king commanded that stones should be rolled and sealed with the king's signet ring, and that the entrances should be stopped up. And the king commanded that Daniel should not be given any food water to drink, and that he should abide in the den of lions, so that the sentence of the Medes and Persians might not pass from his sight. Then the king went home and spent a sleepless night worrying about Daniel. In the morning, very early, the king came to the den and shouted, "Daniel, servant of the living God, how are you?" And a voice answered, "I am well." So the king was happy because Daniel was still alive. But now he wanted to know if the lions had touched him. So the king asked, "Please tell me, was the God of Israel able to send an angel and shut the mouths of the lions?" Then Daniel said, "With the help of God, I have done this." So the king commanded that the stone should be removed from the mouth of the den. And when the crowd came to see Daniel in the den, they saw that he was sitting in the middle of the lions, but the lions had not hurt him at all. And the God of Israel had sent an angel to shut their mouths. When the king saw this, he fell down on his knees before Daniel and said, "Truly, your God is the God of gods, the Lord of kings, and a revealer of mysteries, for he has revealed this thing to you." Then the king commanded that Daniel should be taken out of the den, and that his enemies should be pulled out from the den, along with their wives and children. He had them pulled out to be punished, but Daniel asked the king to forgive them. Then the king gave orders that Daniel should be lifted up and praised in the kingdom, and that everyone should fear him because he was a man of God. And thus God protected Daniel from the lions.